everyone, welcome to College Dunia Study Abroad. My name is Anshika and today we're going to talk about work authorizations, CPT, OPT, EAD. So as a pre-context, I came to the US for my Masters in Computer Science and I just finished my degree. I'll go back in time और मैं सब अपना internship, OPT, CPT सबके बारे में बात करूँगी. So starting with CPT, you become eligible for a CPT after one academic year, which means 2 semesters. And I came here in fall 2021 and I could do my CPT from summer 2022. So I did an internship and I had to apply for a CPT which authorizes me to work. US you cannot just take an internship and start working. You have to tell the school, you have to tell the international office, you have to tell the US government that you're working. They authorize you to work on CPT. So when you apply for a CPT, there are 2-3 things that one should keep in mind. The pehla cheez is the start and end date. There is a limitation on some universities, जैसे हमारे college में था कि CPT should be minimum 12 weeks. You can do it longer than 12 weeks, but it should be a minimum of 12 weeks. Also, the start and end date should not collapse with the semester dates. मतलब मेरा spring end होने के बाद and fall की classes start होने से पहले उस time frame के बीच में मेरा CPT या internship होना चाहिए. Also, it has to be the exact dates. You can't say कि I'm starting on say 12th May, but तुम्हारा internship फिर 9th May को start हो रहा है और maybe से 16th May को start हो रहा है. It has to be the exact dates from your start date. So to apply for a CPT, the process is quite straightforward. इतना problem नहीं होता है. You just need an offer letter from your company, and usually companies 45 to 60 days prior to your start date, they give you a CPT letter which tells you like what position you're working for, what location it is, and who's the point of contact, also what is the start and end date. So based on that you apply for your CPT. So तुम्हारे school college के international office पे you just submit a request with the offer letter along with all the details, and they issue a new I-20 जिसके पीछे they have signatures which specifies the date and the company you're working for. So 2 things to make sure is the date, and the second is the employer. If you change the employer, you need to inform your international office और वो उस हिसाब से तुम्हारा I-20 update करेंगे. So you have to use the updated I-20. And then after submitting the CPT request, मैंने अपना CPT request 20 March को submit किया था and I got approved on 24th March. So 3-4 दिन में हो गया था. But it also depends on कि तुम्हारे university में कितने और students ने apply किया है, and if you apply early it's always good because कम लोग apply करते हैं starting में. They just rush towards the end to apply. उसके बाद जो signature होता है, they also allow you to travel for 1 year. So whenever you go to India, this is one thing that we have to do is we have to get the travel signatures on our I-20. और जब वापस आते हैं India से US, so on the border the signature gets checked. So if you don't have it, you're not permitted to travel. So with that CPT, you're valid to go around for a year from the start date of your CPT. तो CPT process तो काफ़ी straightforward होता है. अपने office को submit किया, they revert back. You submit it to your employer and you're done with it. I would like to talk about is the OPT process. So OPT is optional practical training, and it allows you to work in the US for 1 or 3 years depending on whatever degree you're pursuing. So after you complete your degree, आपको OPT file करना पड़ता है, and with that you apply for an EAD. So it is 1 year for all degrees, and if you are an F1 student pursuing a degree in STEM, that is science, technology, engineering and mathematics, you would get an extension of 24 months for post completion. If you're applying for an OPT, तो इसके लिए आई थिंक थोड़ा ज़्यादा टाइम फ्रेम रखना चाहिए क्योंकि OPT के लिए प्रोसेस USCIS पे जाता है, which is a government body which handles all this work authorization. And मेरा खुद का process was a little bit tedious and I lost around 7 days on my EAD. So you have some number of unemployment days that you can be unemployed in the US while on OPT. So मेरे वो days I lost some of them because I didn't receive my EAD card. But yes, this is one advice I'd give to everyone coming here or already studying, that you should start early for that. If I tell you the process from the start, it is more like आप लेके चलो कि 120 days from when you submit your OPT request, you'll take 120 days to get your EAD card, and without the EAD card you're not allowed to work in the US for any company. I applied for my OPT to my college. You again submit the form that you submitted while doing a CPT. Same information fill करना होता है. You need an offer. You don't need an offer letter, but you need to specify the start date of your OPT. So I did that. I applied on 8th March and my OPT got approved on 28th March. So ये 20 days का time frame था. ये सिर्फ मेरा यूनिवर्सिटी ने मेरा OPT अप्रूव करने के लिए लिया. एंड ऑब्वियसली उस टाइम पे बहुत सारे एप्लीकेंट्स थे बिकॉज समर में बहुत लोग ग्रेजुएट होते हैं. सो OPT एप्लीकेशंस आर मच हायर देन CPT एप्लीकेशंस. देन विद दिस OPT अप्रूवल आई हैव टू अप्लाई फॉर एन EAD, दैट इज एम्प्लॉयमेंट ऑथराइजेशन डॉक्यूमेंट. एंड दिस इज हाउ एन EAD कार्ड लुक्स लाइक. इसके लिए we have to fill the form I-765 on the USCIS website. Process straightforward ही है. Usually colleges when you apply for OPT to the university वो बोलते हैं कि तुम अपना form भर के give it us for a review so that they can confirm everything is correct. A lot of help is available for that. तो मैंने उनको submit किया था and it got approved. So to apply for an EAD you need I-20 with the OPT signatures. So I applied on 29th March when I got my I-20 with OPT, and my EAD got approved on May 16th and I received it on 7th June. So there has been a lot of time gap between this, and USCIS is not really helpful to tell you कि तुम्हारा EAD कार्ड कितने दिन में आएगा या कहाँ पे है at the moment. There's no tracking available for that. For EAD I filled the form I-765 and they gave me the approval letter on 16th May saying that your card is being produced. And उसमें mentioned है एक चीज़ कि show this card to your employer to verify your authorization to work. You cannot use this approval notice as a proof of employment authorization. As my card was already approved and my start date was coming near and I didn't get my EAD card, मैंने अपने employer को approach किया saying that can I use this approval letter, and they said a big no. So a lot of big companies do that too कि approval letter से काम नहीं करने देते. You need the physical EAD card to work, and within 3 days you have to upload the EAD card on the link provided by the employer. So it is very advisable to start as early as possible with your EAD application. So there is one OPT timeline tracker. ये official tracker नहीं है, but I found this information source very useful for my application. So EAD की application fee was $410, and if you want to expedite the process, there is I believe 1.5 की fee for the expedited process. उससे approval will get expedited because मेरा 1 month से ऊपर लगा, 2 months से ऊपर लगा to get the approval. But a lot of people who don't have so much time, they just expedite the process so that it gets approved early. But anyways, from the approval date to the delivery, it will take around 10 days. So don't think कि expedite करके you'll get it as quickly as possible. You will definitely still take 15 days to get your EAD card. मेरा EAD card का बहुत ही funny story है.
आगे बोल. नहीं पता. बता. भाई मेरा भाई. बता.
मैंने EAD कार्ड फिल किया बहुत पहले. I think I was one of the first students in my university to file for an EAD application, and I didn't expedite the process. I just gave $410 and तो मैंने address change किया था अपना residential address which was on my EAD card. So I updated it on the USCIS website, and I moved from that address on 15th May. Or USPS, which is the local like a government पोस्ट ऑफिस जो मेल्स डिलीवर करता है, उस पर भी आई अपडेटेड इट. एंड USCIS सेंड द कार्ड ऑन माई ओल्ड एड्रेस इटसेल्फ, ऑल्दो आई वॉज नॉट देयर, एंड USPS वॉज गुड इनफ टू फॉरवर्ड इट, बट उन्होंने खुद इस फॉरवर्ड प्रोसेस में 10 days ले लिए टू send it to the new address, and I had to go back and forth. Also USCIS की website पे usually they don't update that the card is being produced, or they don't give you a tracking number. There's a chatbot there called Chat with Emma. So I contacted them and I talked to a live agent. और उसने मेरे को thankfully एक USPS tracking number दिया from which I could track where my EAD card was, and then I went back and forth with USPS to check कि मेरा EAD card है कि नहीं है. And I told them that whenever you find it, whenever you have it in the office, just give me a call and I'll come to pick it up. Like delivery में 1-2 दिन का delay नहीं चाहिए. But all that said, they still took 10 days to get it picked up from the office as well. So yeah, this is EAD application is one thing everybody should decide. Like if you have your employer finalized और तुम्हें dates भी पता है कि कब start date है, obviously you don't need an end date because it's a full-time job, but if you have the start date and the employer finalized, you should definitely apply for the EAD as soon as possible. And after you get the EAD, तो employment start date मेरा 29th May था. On that day I received an email for the SCVP portal, which is the Student and Exchange Visitor Program portal, and at all times you have to update your home address, telephone information and your employer information on the SCVP portal. So that's a government website where government keeps track of your unemployment days. They also have your EAD start dates and end dates. And by the way, the end date on my EAD is 1 year from the start date, and after that I would have to renew it because मैं STEM OPT पे होंगी, so I'll have 2 more years to work in the US. So the next thing that comes after the EAD and OPT is the H1B, which is it's a lottery system, so it's very precarious. You don't know you'll get picked or not, but you will definitely have 3 years to work in the US. And I got the 0th attempt from my company because I had the offer letter before the lottery is filled in. So मैंने अपनी details fill की थी around 18th January for the H1B lottery. So H1B lottery, there are 3 attempts for that while you are in the US, but I got a 0th attempt because even before I graduated, they applied for my lottery because I was working on that financial year. So the results were out on 28th March and I was unfortunately not selected for it. And you can see the stats for the 2024 fiscal year. Out of the 758k eligible registrations, only 110k got picked, which is less than 14%. So बहुत competitive है. A lot of people apply for H1B. There is also like a kind of scam going on in the US, which is that a company possesses as sister companies file an application for a single applicant. तो एक applicant के multiple applications हैं sister companies से just to so the USCIS is trying to like reduce the number. ऐसी companies को they're trying to stop people from these who've applied from this company to apply again, क्योंकि जो genuine applications है वो I think इसकी वजह से नहीं pick हो पाते हैं और उनको opportunity नहीं मिल पाती है. But it's a lottery after all, so you can't be 100% sure. But I believe for your time here, you should make the most out of it. 3 years work experience US का मिलना is very nice, and you can obviously go to Canada, Europe or any other country after you've worked in the US. So that was all from my side to talk about the authorization and how to get things done in the US while you want to work in the US. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments below and we'll address them. Thank you.